Hey guys, it's Kay from KS Anonymous, and I am back today with another episode of r/Tales from Tech Support. Answer my question! I can't without knowing who you are first. Can I get a new phone? My manager said other people are expensing theirs. Well, expensing a personal phone is not allowed by finance and hasn't been at least since before 2015. I can see if you're eligible. I need your number and carrier to look up your account and see the eligibility. If you are, I will send over the request form. Why can't you just tell me if I'm eligible for a phone or not, and there isn't a form attached? I can tell you, I just need your phone number and carrier to look up your account and see the eligibility. And there is a different form depending on the eligibility with the carrier. I will send over the one that applies to you. You don't need information. You need to just tell me an answer instead. I can't give you an answer without looking up your account, since the eligibility is partially determined by the carrier. I just need your phone number and carrier to look up your account and see the eligibility. I don't know why you just can't tell me if I am eligible. Fine, I guess I don't need a new phone. I'll just keep it on the charger all day. Have a nice day. I'm sorry, but I don't know if you're eligible without pulling up your account and checking your eligibility. I can't help you if you won't let me. I just want to know who expects anyone to help them with just that really vague information. Like, yeah, so you don't know who I am or what my phone number is or what I'm doing here at all, but you just need to know, you're just supposed to know if I'm eligible or not. Like, what? Like, that doesn't make any sense. We owe money to who? Hi, long time no post. This tale comes hot from the floor, and this is mostly a place for me to vent at a colossal F-up on my part. All spelling mistakes are my own, so on with the show. Characters, me, terribly incompetent techie. Rory, not their real name, great guy who taught me how to handle tickets with a customer focus, has since moved up the ladder. I'm guessing this is supposed to be like bougie. That's my guess. I don't know. That is the only way of saying it that I can think of right now. So we're going with bougie. Also not a real name and not even a reflection of the customer. Their name spelling just makes me think of this. He's the customer. Fire rep. Salesperson of our company attached to the more major customers. Eastern Atlantic. One of the major financial institutions in the country. Not a real name. CC, customer calamity, or at least they normally are. However, this was one of the few instances this department was mostly just simply caught in the crossfire. Other names to be used and discarded on a whim. It was another day in WFH, work from hell. The skies were gray, the room was gray, and so was my shirt. It is 2 hours from the end of my shift as an L1 at a major worldwide OEM of both consumer and enterprise products. It was at this point my dreaded Outlook decided to pop up and tell me that Fire Rep wanted to speak with me. My reply was simple. Unfortunately, I cannot speak with you in person, but I'm happy to answer you via messaging, if that's alright with you. Apparently it was. After the usual perfunctory greetings, we get to the real meat of it all. Apparently a ticket that I had resolved with a refund a few weeks ago had gone a bit awry. The ticket was relatively simple. 2 monitors were purchased from a third-party reseller and did not meet their needs as the panels were 2 different hues. Swapping them out by the reseller still resulted in the same issue. So Bougie, the customer, decided to get a refund as the units were only purchased a few days ago. The reseller refused as there was no technical issue and the monitors were working fine. Tough luck. So Bougie reached out to us as our name is on the monitor. To his unfortunate luck, he got me. So after a quick verification of pictures and some consultation from the powers that be, we deemed it not a technical issue. So I sent Bougie on his merry way to CC, which is more of a death sentence than anything else. See, I would prefer Microsoft support than to talk to these guys on the phone. However, Bougie has a surprise for me. He had already walked that treacherous path for days on end and had risen from the ordeal with absolutely nothing. There were no records, no messages, or even tickets raised. Now, most of you who have ever dealt with customer service on either side of the phone would look at this and be suspicious. Why are there no records of this guy coming to us beforehand? So the fact that I, myself, would look at that and say, yeah, that seems pretty normal, should speak volumes as to why I call CC the Customer Calamity Department. I figured I should help and got the relevant details, proof of purchase, who it was from, etc. I told Bougie that I would send this myself to CC and get them to get going. After the call, I got order numbers, serial numbers, and all the other information I got, packaged it up in a handy email, and sent it off. 2 weeks later, I got reply that it had been assigned and would be handled. 2 weeks later after that, I saw an email that confirmed that refund would go ahead. Great, not my problem anymore, call Bougie, tell him what's happened, and never think of it again. Until today. See, what I had actually done was grab one of the serial numbers, located its order from my company, and verified the original reseller who had an account with us. Then I grabbed the other serial number and got its respective order number before packing it with the rest of the email I sent to CC. So it turns out that other serial number and order number were linked to Eastern Atlantic. This meant that when CC processed the refund, the procurement team of Eastern Atlantic suddenly found a mysterious unexplained credit to the value of a monitor from my company in the middle of tax time. This is apparently a major no-no, especially when you're part of a major financial institution that has to answer to the government agencies for routine auditing, as well as non-routine auditing due to the largest money laundering criminal offenses in the country, which they were found guilty of. So, understandably, they were a bit panicky when their account books don't match up for no reason, good or bad. Upon being informed of potentially losing a massive client, Fire Rep traced the steps to me and the CC agent. The CC agent reasonably pointed her to me, as I was the one who had passed on the information from Bougie. This resulted in me being grilled as to why I had organized a credit to Eastern Atlantic without speaking to Eastern Atlantic. My counterpoint was that tech support can't do that with our tools and has to go to CC. After a bitter brief back and forth, I engaged my big guns. Enter the Rory. Now, Rory is no longer considered as tech support, as in he isn't allowed to touch the technical side. His current role is wade into the middle of giant lakes of BS between our company and our customers and set us both straight. This doesn't mean he has lost his tech chops, though. He can still troubleshoot with best the L1s can offer. It just means that he can tell either the customer or our people to back up, F off, and get their crap together, just as long as he has the backing of legal. Rory has direct line to legal. Legal also really likes how Rory works, and the results it gets for them. Rory directs me to back off and tell them that tech support will look into this and get it sorted. I do so, and Fire Rep is still smoldering, thus the name. CC, on the other hand, has rightfully run for the hills. This may be the only time I can sympathize with them. But there was no time to dwell on this. Rory tells me to get the escalations going on so that he can be officially involved. I then have to get in touch with Bougie to get a feel for them not getting their credit, because as a reminder, it's still tax time, whilst Rory goes and does a thorough digging. I wish him the best of luck and a giant shovel while I go do what he asks. I call Bougie, give him a very brief explanation as to what happened to the credit so that he doesn't get wiser as to what's happened. Bougie takes it like a champion and is happy to wait. Great. I then thank him for his time and go to hang out before I have a thought. It occurs to me that I may have misheard or Bougie may have misread the serial number of the monitors to me. So I ask him if he still has the monitors. No, he does not. They were picked up by the courier 2 weeks ago. I am now dying inside, but ignoring my imminent death, I go on to say goodbye to message Rory. Rory, massive problem. Hey OP, I was just about to ask if you could verify the serial numbers of the monitors. I think there may have been a mistake somewhere. About that, the monitors were taken 2 weeks ago. F. This means that we have no idea where that monitor is, so we can't even verify if the serial is wrong. Since it's with the courier, we can't even get them to drop it off somewhere for us to check. The collections team can't do it because all they do is remove serial numbers that are no longer in active service for things like refunds. So that's a dead end. So what happens next? No idea. Rory told me that he will have to speak to legal, as Atlantic may take us to court if the government raises any penalties. We may also lose contracts worth literal billions. This is due to one man wanting a refund of a couple $100 and a techie who got too complacent to check the numbers. Rory told me he would jump on this first thing the following morning. Now he really wants that shovel for digging, but I don't think it's for information anymore. To be continued. Best of luck to you. Oh my god. I feel like this is a wonderful crossover of r slash today I effed up or Tifu and r slash Tales from Tech Support, because wow. It's crazy how like just a little thing can make the whole system basically explode. I hope the best for you. I didn't realize future generations were more tech illiterate than my grandparents. This one is going back a bit. I was a junior in trade high school, taking an IT class. For the first 10 weeks of school, incoming freshmen try out 10 different trades to see a variety of ones they might like, not just the ones they are interested in. We had 2 teachers in the IT course. One taught the upperclassmen, juniors and seniors, and the others taught the underclassmen, freshmen and sophomore. The introduction to IT week is building a basic website. It can be about anything the student wants. One particular week, the underclassman teacher was out sick, so I volunteered to teach the web design project. 2 girls, both of which are 14 years old, are having some issues. Me is me, the hero of our tale. G1, girl number 1, and G2 is girl number 2. I just finished the instructions for this part of the project and began walking around assisting where needed.
Excuse me, we can't get the pictures to appear on the page.
Okay, let's take a look. I look at the code. Okay, I see that your code points to a folder on your desktop. They copied the example code I wrote on the whiteboard. Can you both please go to your desktop so I can check the file names?
What's a desktop? Yeah, what's a desktop?
Me, face palming. Okay, minimize the window you have open.
How do I minimize the window?
Me facepalming again. You see the buttons on the top right corner? Click the...
It's asking if I want to save my changes. Do I click no?
Click cancel and then click the leftmost button in the upper right.
Oh, okay.
This is your desktop. Do you see the folder where you have your pictures?
What's a folder?
I proceed to give myself concussion from the force of my face palming, exhale, lean down, and notices that girl 2 doesn't have a folder on her desktop. Where have you been putting your pictures for your website?
In pictures?
She opens the picture folder, which indeed contains the photo she wants. Can you right-click on the desktop, click New Folder, then rename it to Web Pictures with no space, the name I used for the example. Girl 2 does as instructed.
Okay, now what?
Okay, move the pictures from Pictures over to your new folder. Girl 1, can you show me your photo that you're trying to add? Girl 1 opens the Pictures folder instead of Desktop folder.
Here they are.
No, those should be in the folder on your desktop. You need to move them.
But they're in my Pictures folder.
They're in your Pictures folder, but that is different from the folder you are supposed to be using to store your pictures. You also wrote your code to look at a specific folder on your desktop, not your Pictures folder.
So why can't it just know that my pictures are in Pictures?
You two are a different kind of special. I realize what I just said out loud. Girl 1 looks at Girl 2 with excited eyes and sincerely says, he thinks we're special. I walk away back to the upperclassmen side of the room and tag my friend in to finish helping them, for I am a broken man. Yeah, I have had this odd experience too, because we like to assume that the younger people are more adept at this stuff, and they are good at like clicking around. Okay, they can figure out like apps, you know, if I tap this thing and tap that thing, ooh, I figured out I could do this. But they don't know how like the inner workings of things work. They don't understand the concept of a desktop. They don't understand the concept of what you do like in your start menu and all that stuff. They have no clue. And that is appalling to me. I taught an intro to computer class, and I just kind of had to make things up as I was going along, because there's a lot of stuff they really didn't know. Even though they could use like their mobile applications just fine, they didn't really understand like how they could get to things on an actual like normal desktop or laptop computer. And it was an interesting experience, that's for sure. So I think it's weird that people are like, oh, let's start coding in like 4th grade. Now let's start teaching children how they can find things and where they should go and how things make sense before we have them coding, because they're gonna code things to the, okay. Yeah, it's just a personal rant. It's a personal thing, okay? Okay. Anyway, that is going to wrap up today's video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and drop a like and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Really quickly, I would like to thank my patrons. Up on the screen, you should see my face palmers and my crazy case. Thank you all so much for supporting me in that way. If you are interested in becoming a patron, checking out the original posts from today's video, or sending me an email for possible inclusion in a future video, all of that information is in the description box, so be sure to check that out. And I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye!